I'm Mike Gorham. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Contra Anniversary Collection. And after having completed the original Contra released on the arcade, we're now ready to take on its sequel, Super Contra for the arcade. Aliens are back with a vengeance. 1 year has passed since the Red Falcon's invasion. Peace returned to Earth and all seemed well until one fateful day. A cryptic distress signal was sent out by General Howe, who was attending a military exercise with the GX Army on the Southern Front in South America. Sensing something had gone seriously wrong, leaders of the Earth Federation government dispatched their best Contra soldiers, Bill and Lance, to investigate the matter. Following the signal, Bill and Lance were shocked to discover that the aliens they had exterminated a year ago had returned. Now it's up to the two Contra soldiers to lift the veil on the true nature of the aliens, and to wipe them off the face of the Earth. Woo! December AD 2634. Alright. I did not know how long I was sitting there, but just like the previous arcade game, I'm going to play this on easy, because I've never played this game before, and I do not... And when you're after the battle with the mysterious Red Falcon organization, the Earth seems to be free. However, the quest for freedom continues. Alright, yeah, they're clearly modeled after Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator, and I guess a little bit of Commando as well, and Rambo from the Rambo series. At this point, they are starting to get their own sense of identity, but, you know, blonde and black hair, muscle bound, you get the gist. So, because this is an arcade game, just like the previous game, the objective, as far as perfect playthroughs are concerned, is to, of course, pretty straightforward, just beat the game. And honestly, I do debate how valuable such simple completion conditions are as far as perfect playthroughs go. But hey, we're playing through the whole collection. I decided to go for 5 credits because I think that's about the amount that the game will allow before they set you back to the beginning of the game. Alright, got the spread shot, and just in the general rule of thumb with early Contra especially is if you get your hand, is that once you get your hands on the spread shot, hold on to it for dear life. Yeah, the other weapons are pretty good, especially when it comes to dealing with bosses, but I don't know. I would say that the wide AoE effects, especially in the early games, are invaluable to have. And you can only carry one gun with you at a time. So I'm just trying to make precautionary saves. I am trying to make precautionary save states because this is Contra and random shit can happen at any time. Yes, this is on the easy side, so I'm not struggling much at all yet. Trust me when I say that this video would have been about almost twice as long as it is right now had I not practiced those save states. And later games in this collection will be way longer than that. Not looking forward to that. So I want to try to take out all those turrets on the side so I don't have to deal with them while dealing with those incoming enemies. And you can definitely tell because I start using a lot of save states in the middle of the action because that's how you know I was struggling quite a bit in this game. This is not an easy game. pretty much the one bright side of playing these arcade games on the collection is I no longer have to give them weekend rentals. I technically own these games, so it also means that these games are gonna run relatively smoothly compared to most other arcade games that I've covered on my on this channel previously. I'll let that thing pass by because I don't want to take its weapon. By the way, why don't I just dodge those guns? Because you freaking can't. These weapons suck. Alright, so now pretty much the only threat are the incoming soldiers that have been brainwashed by the Red Falcon alien army. Which is like a weird mix of the Thing and the Xenomorphs from Alien, among other things. It is honestly kind of crazy that we never got a Contra movie in the 90s. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone were still pretty big stars back in the day. I'm sure they could have gotten them on board. And yes, they were starting to produce video game movies back then either. They were usually pretty bad, but in the 90s they were also fairly campy and fun in their own ways. They certainly were not Uwe Boll or late-stage Paul W.S. Anderson levels of bad. So yeah, another thing I will say what makes these overhead stages very difficult is that most of the foot soldiers basically spawn in infinite. Or near infinite. And trying to kill them all off, if it's not a vain exercise, is definitely gonna make your job way harder. So my recommendation when playing the arcade game, well, if you're playing the arcade game, you can just use save states. Work around it. But I would say, just move up a little bit at a time, clear out the foot soldiers, move a little bit at a time. If you don't have very good space to move around, I would just keep moving forward. Because this isn't like a beat-em-up sort of situation. There's really nothing there that's stopping you outside of the bullet hell itself. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. In the Contra games, it's one hit and you're dead. There's no health bars at all. So back in the day, nobody really would figure such gameplay to be super cheap. James Rolfe said thus, "It's tough but fair. You screw up, it's entirely on you." Alright, so my recommendation for this boss is take out the turrets first, and then you can take care of the main body itself. I would not be terribly scared by that electric gate thing. As far as I can tell, it's harmless. Alright, that's level 2 in the books. And now to begin level 3, which is in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Yeah, I kind of wish anybody wish we lived in an alternate world where we had a Contra movie in the 1990s starring Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger? that we have to wait Hollywood was looking forever for an excuse to feature these two stars in a movie together. Apparently the movie Face Off, which wound up starring Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, two of our all-time favorite Hollywood hams there ever was, just chewing up the scenery into splitters. Like, that film was originally gonna star Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Like, why could it never happen? So, okay, I think the main threat with this background is basically, well, there's the foreground, is honestly the foreground, because there are enemies outside that you cannot see, and the foreground is in the way. I tried jumping over that just to demonstrate you can't jump over those guns no matter how close you get or how far you jump. But at least I leaned on an upgrade for our spread shot, so instead of firing in 3 different directions, it's firing on all 5. Really useful to have. Alright, now that we blew this thing, our objective is to get in the rhythm. You want to shoot straight up, and then dodge when they get too low. Rinse, repeat. Once you get in that rhythm, this boss becomes a cakewalk. And you want to try to destroy the middle bullet. Yes, you can actually blow up some enemy fire. Not all of it, but some of it. So we are now in level 4. The penultimate level of Super Contra. AKA Contra 2. Alright, alright, I'm sort of getting a little anal retention, so you can definitely tell when I'm doing a bunch of save states back to back, it's because I was struggling a ton of that part, and I had to load up a ton of different save states. That's how you know that I'm doing that a section is difficult when I'm doing a ton of save states. Okay, so this section's not too hard. All the projectiles could easily be destroyed. Just stay underneath the platform and you're good. That's how you beat that boss. Or sub-boss, I should say. And sometimes I will just do a save state like that because I've made it really far. I don't know how much farther it can go, and I don't want this section to be back. So, I will say one problem I do have with this game is it's a little tricky to tell how much. It's really simple. With the spread shot, you just jump up while pointing the gun straight up and to deal max damage with the spread shot, and you can beat him quickly before he has a chance to do anything. But that is kind of the problem, is that it is a little bit difficult to tell how much hits it takes to defeat a boss or sections of a boss. Alright, so that is that. What I just left behind is what is known as a shell. It's basically limited ammunition. That can have some devastating effects. I don't really need the shells, though. I'm fine the way I am. My main objective is basically to clear out all these fodder enemies. I only use a shell at this space. A fodder that keeps coming in is by far the most dangerous part about most of these level traversals, but this is the final level, and the final boss can be really trippy. Don't travel too far ahead at this section because these guys will swarm in on you and could get you in a lot of trouble. It's technically 2 waves of those guys, and once you clear those 2 waves, you're now free to explore. And now we are about to enter the boss's lair, so to speak. This is literally the final gauntlet before we enter the lair. My recommendation is to just keep going. Now that we clear the door, once we clear that door, though, we are facing the final boss. We want to take care of these. Oh shit! Automation, and we still have to. Ooh. We still have to clear out those spiders. And you can tell this is the final boss due to the change in music. Now, Super C on NES does expand on the game quite a bit, and there is an extra level or 2 after this. Probably because they couldn't compress this entire final boss in one stage like in the NES like they could in the arcade. Keep your distance because this ain't a door for us to get through. This is the end game. So there are like 5 sections that you need to prioritize on destruction. The arms that come out and project, and you also want to take out those eyes in the middle and the central gems, and you want to take out the little pulsating membranes on the left and right sides. Also, he spits out little minions that will home in after you and completely wipe you out. And that is by far the most dangerous obstacle. I took out the membranes, and he's about to spit some enemies out, and yeah. You can definitely tell this is really difficult because I had to use a lot of save states. I even have to consider whether or not to use them sometimes. Alright, so at this point, I was wondering why I'm not killing the final boss at all, and it's because I did not know at the time that you could still destroy the arms. So yeah, after you take out the membranes, destroy the arms, and then you can destroy the head itself, and there you go. You've beaten the final boss. Of course, at this point now, he will basically never stop shooting out new fodder enemies to take you out. So be sure to keep your distance, and there you go. Final boss is beat. Just keep your distance as he blows up to 1 billion pieces, and congratulations. We have beaten. Yeah, I did not. I knew there was another level after this in Super C on NES, but I did not know that this. But I thought. But I didn't know the game ended right then and there. So yeah, that's Super C. It is an improvement over the original. It doesn't lag as much as the original game did, but the screen crunch definitely sort of makes it very easy for the enemy to get the jump on you. Otherwise, it's not terribly cheap, just really, really difficult. Also predatory, apparently. But anyways, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. I greatly appreciate it. With that out of the way, this is Mike Gordon, sign out.